Hello, I'm Bill O'Donnell, and welcome to another program on spirituality. Today we're in part 2 of Society of Our Lady of the Most Holy Trinity here in New Mexico. It's an order that started in New Mexico. And last week we showed a videotape of their 40th anniversary of that society that was started right here. I believe their first parish was in Mora, New Mexico, and we're fortunate to have in the studio with us another group of the society. To my immediate left, Father Dennis from La Jolla, Sister Judith from Mora, and Ken from a layman, and he's also in Mora as well at St. Gertrude's.
That's correct.
So welcome to all of you. So last week we had Father Michael Jordan, originally of Albuquerque, and he's the pastor now at St. Gertrude and a member of the society, as well as Sister Mary of the Holy Eucharist, whose family originally was from Mora. She's living in her grandparents' house right now as we speak, as they re-enter that area to serve the Lord and the Archdiocese here through the Society of Our Lady of the Most Holy Trinity. So welcome all of you.
Thank you very much. It's good to be here.
As we learned last week, I'll try to recap as best I can. Father James Flanagan got the call to start the society, I think, back in the 50s. Yes. And he was called to come here, and then Archbishop Byrne welcomed them with open arms and helped them get started, and they were successful, and we saw from the tape that they are now in many parts of the world, and they're a very young order, and we're honored to have you back here in New Mexico.
Thank you.
That's great. So tell us, Father Dennis, where are you from, and how did you first find out about the society and your call?
I'm originally from Dubuque, Iowa, born and raised there, and then I was married when I was young, went through divorce, annulment. I was a single parent raising my son, and I got the call to the priesthood. And I had to wait, actually I had to wait 12 years before I could enter the seminary. And I had never really ever heard of the Society of Our Lady of the Most Holy Trinity until it came time to enter the seminary. And I'd actually made application with the Diocese of Phoenix. And then I had made a novena to St. Joseph, and on his feast day I got this grace to, I encountered this lady who was a member of Father Pinto, who was our novice master of his apostolate, and we talked for a few minutes, and she said, oh, no. She said, you can't join the diocese. She said, you're one of Mary's boys. You have to join Our Lady Society. I said, Our Lady Society, what's that? She said, no, it's the Society of Our Lady of the Most Holy Trinity, and Father Pinto's a novice master. So she literally, after Mass, dragged me over to her apartment, kept me captive there for about 2 hours till we could get through to Father Pinto. And then finally, he was coming to Phoenix that weekend. So I met with him, had a wonderfully graced encounter, and the thing that impressed me the most, and it just immediately sold me on the society, is when he enumerated the principal spiritual realities of it. And first and foremost, he said, number one, we're family. And that really struck my heart. I mean, that really did. And he said, we're family, we're Marian, we're faithful to the magisterium of the church, we're Eucharistic. And he said, we have priests, sisters, and lay people that serve on teams. He said, we live poverty and we serve the poorest of the poor. So interiorly for myself, I just went, yes to all 7 or 8. And at the end, I said, where do I sign up at? I said, where do I sign up at? He's like, no, slow down. I said, no, I don't want to slow down. I'm ready. And then I came over here, and then I actually came to Berlin, south of Berlin, where our novitiate is the next week, and visited. And then a year later, I came here in novitiate, and that's really when I fell in love with New Mexico. And then I went to 4 years of seminary, and then after that, when I got ordained last summer, so I'm a late vocation.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And I was ordained 6 weeks, and then I was made pastor in La Jolla of 6 churches. And,
you can really get ahead fast in
exactly,
can't you?
Yeah, so I was thrown right in there. But I love New Mexico. I love the people of New Mexico, and I really do. And so I'm real happy and pleased to be here.
Oh, that's a great story. Yeah. You did mention that you had been married and annulled, and that seems to be a more open-minded church these days. That this opportunity. You're not the first priest we've had on here that have had that experience. But tell us for you, because there may be some other men out there that that might have those stirrings in their heart, and to realize that. If they've gone that way, that the door is still open.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And one of the beautiful realities is that at the seminary that I went to, Holy Apostles Seminary, many of the men from Santa Fe Diocese also go there as seminarians, and I have several good friends that are either priests now or will be priests in the next couple of years, God willing. And they also have either been widowed or gone through divorce and an annulment. And the openness of even the Diocese of Santa Fe towards men. Like it's really wonderful, you know. And we do bring, I believe, a little different life experience to our priests. We bring ourselves, and I find that some people are maybe in that situation themselves, who have gone through divorce, which is a very painful situation, or in need of an annulment. It's a little easier maybe for them to come and talk to me because I've been there, done that, you know. So I've been able to counsel quite a few people in that. But the church is really open to, and looks at the individual and the person, and is open to the call. And that's one of the reasons that I really love Our Lady Society, and really with Father Jim. He was so open our founder, when I went down to Texas to interview with him and to be accepted. And it was never even an obstacle, never even for a second, you know. And I love to see that openness. And to me, that's what church is supposed to be. And that's what I was impressed with. You know, this is my idea of what church is.
That's great. Well, Sister Judith here from the Philippines, and as we saw in that tape last week, the society only came to the Philippines in as recent as 1975 to start, and yet it's thriving there. And you told me earlier that you got the call just because there they were. You got to see. Tell us about your background and how you became a sister.
I was a catechist by that time, but they're talking about there are priests and nuns flying all over there in the islands. I don't pay much attention with that, but the group of catechists, they invite us to go to the islands. The first time I went to the islands, I feel dizzy with the waves going up and down, and then we have to walk. There's no electricity, there's no running water, and here comes an American. We call every white over there in the Philippines, you're handsome. So, wow, we have a handsome priest over here. So
That's his hope.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
I get excited in there because But the more I was attracted with the community is that we feel the community spirit. The very first time we visited the island, and then here comes the priest and the sisters. They welcome you, and we feel like family. So by the time they have this summer apostolate, they put together the aspirants for the seminarians and aspirants for the sisterhood. They go to barrio by barrio, and from there we learn to relate with each other, and then we know each other. Then if we they become priests and become sisters, there's no barrier, so we can just fund like this priests. But you know, there's a family relationship in there. It really strikes us, all Filipinos. Now, I think the Filipinos priests over there is already 54, and then we have 58 sisters in Asia, including in Thailand. So 50 Filipino sisters over there.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be a missionary to the United States, which that's what you are? I mean, you've left your home country to come to this country in the spirit of the old Spanish Franciscans who brought the faith here to originally over 400 years ago. And what is it like to come here as a missionary to serve the poor of this country?
Well, in the Philippines, we think we are the poorest of the poor. We don't see poor. We think in our mind, in our mentality, every Americans have money, they're rich. So when I come here, they're poor in America. What? So it's shocking to me that they're poor in America. So because everything that's being brought to us, Americans are rich, they have money. So it's shocking to come in here. Oh wow, there's a poor in here. But poor here for us it's a luxury to us, because you say about the poor, but they have car. Over there we don't have car.
Yeah. What about the spirituality here, Sister? How is it different here in the United States than in your country? I know you've just arrived, so it might be too early to ask that question.
I'm 3 years I've been 3 years in Texas.
Yeah.
So I think it's just the same. In the Philippines, sometimes we were Catholics, but we're not living it out. We just be Catholics by name. But here, if you say Catholics, they're really die-hard Catholics. So I think it's just the same with the people, how they live out their faith.
Yeah. Okay. We'll probably come back to that, but Ken, I've been eager to get to you because as a layman, you bring another dimension, and I was very fascinated to find out that the society includes everybody together and operates as a team. So you're a full functioning member of the Society's team as a layman, is that correct?
Very much so, very much so.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I started out in the oil industry in Houston, 30 years actually in the oil industry. Had a very good job, had everything I needed as far as income, six-figure income, nice car, nice home, everything you would want from a materialism standpoint, but I was empty. I was looking for something more in my life. I also went through a divorce, and I'll talk a little bit about that later, but I was looking for some spiritual focus, some spiritual discipline in my life that I couldn't find out in the business world. I had a real difficult time bringing our Lord to the table in the at the business, and I guess I had some guilt about that, and I wasn't very active in the parish. I did some volunteer work after my divorce in the Houston-Galveston diocese with children from single-parent families, and that fulfilled me. That gave me purpose, gave me energy. It gave me a sense of peace and contentment, and I knew the Lord was calling me to something special, something more. It just wasn't enough. I did that for 8 years, but I had a yearning to be a missionary. You know, you have this romantic idea about missionary, you know, running off to, to Spain or someplace and being a missionary. But I knew how I felt. I knew that I wanted to serve. I felt like I was being called to serve. And I actually developed a relationship with Our Lady, and it wasn't just praying to her. It was actually giving her a role in my life. I lost my biological mother when I was 4 years old, so when I actually let Our Lady take that role in my life and fill that void, then things begin to happen, and doors begin to open. And I actually had this yearning for about 15 years, and I before I actually made the move, but I did some investigation. I actually contacted some missionary organizations, and it was rather a negative experience initially, because they were nice, but they kind of made me feel like they were trying to attract younger people, and I was maybe a little too old, a little set in my ways, and didn't have command of a foreign language. So I really, I got discouraged initially. So I talked to my parish priest about it, and he said, put it on hold. You have a son, wait till he gets out of school. And I did have a son in junior high at that time. So I did that. I put it on hold. My career kind of flourished. I became a regional manager over 10 states. But then I came to a crossroads in my career about four years ago. The company I was working for sold my region, and my job was eliminated. And I had 3 offers to go into the consulting industry, but I got that yearning again, And I really began to think about investigating this, this further. I thought, if I don't do it now, I'm going to be too old. So I've got to look into it. So what I did is I got on the internet, and I investigated went through the Catholic Volunteer Network. And
tell us about that network. A lot of people don't know about it.
Oh, it's fabulous. I mean, there's a tremendous number of organizations there that you can research, and they've got all kinds of information right there at your hands. Just search the Volunteer Catholic Network, and you'll get the website there. But what I did is I started out initially with about 20 organizations, and then I narrowed it down to about 8. And I actually communicated corresponded with 8 organizations. The Society of Our Lady was the first organization to respond, and I never got to the other 7. I mean, I knew this was what I wanted. This is Our Lady, I felt like, was calling me to this organization, and it didn't make any difference how old I was. What they were looking at was my heart. They wanted to know how the Spirit was operating in my life. And age is not a factor with this society. We have a seminarian. It's 77 years old. He's studying to be a priest. I mean, it's just a wonderful organization. It's family. It's what I found when I got away from it, and I did actually, after I went through formation and I had my first assignment as office manager of the headquarters office, I kind of got called back into the world a little bit. I took a leave of absence and I went back to Houston. I did consultant work. I hadn't gotten that out of my system, and I had to. I did that, and I spent a lot of time. The consultant work didn't keep me busy constantly, so I spent a lot of time in adoration before the Blessed Sacrament, daily Mass, just liturgy of the hours, praying every day, trying to seek what God wanted from me, and the doors began to open. And the Society of Our Lady, I went through formation with them, and it's a wonderful, wonderful organization. The formation program for the lay people will take you through a process that just will amaze you how much you grow. You look at your life under a microscope, really, and you see a lot of things that you don't really want to see, but you have to deal with. It's very healing. I went through a year of formation. Father Michael Jordan, who you met in the first segment, was my formator. And here I am in Mora now, serving Father Michael Jordan. I'm his administrative assistant. We do everything out there from, I do personally everything from serving Mass to trying to build a convent. We're trying to get the original convent that was started when Father Flanagan came to Holman. It's in ruins now, and we're trying to get it back in place so that the new sisters, the postulants, can be brought there. And they want to be there by next summer, so we've got a real challenge. But I just serve him administratively. Sister and I both teach religious education. I have the 6th graders. Sister has the 7th graders. We joke around a lot about that. They keep us challenged, and Sister thinks my students are out of control. But
yeah. Well, let me ask that, because they pioneered Mora many years ago, and they were gone for a while. So I've only been back to Mora just a couple of years. Is that right? 2 or 3 years?
We're just now back in Mora.
Yeah.
Just now. I mean,
Yeah.
Father's been
July.
here.
Okay, so just year. You're in your first year. Okay. And La Jolla the same?
La Jolla, we've had the parish in La Jolla, I believe, for about 10 years. Father Vince Nicosia was there. And then within the physical boundaries of that parish is where our novitiate is situated.
Yeah. Tell people where La Jolla is.
La Jolla is south of Belen, about, I guess it's about 20 miles south of Belen at the Bernardo exit on Highway 60. And you dead end in La Jolla. The Highway 304 dead ends there. So it's very peaceful, very quiet. But then I have 6 churches in that area, too, that keep me very busy. Yeah. One of the things that really came out to me, just in the, as we went around the table here, is one of the real remarkable things, and I think one of the beautiful things of the Society of Our Lady, and what really appeals to me and always has, is the reality that each of us has our own vocation. I mean, you see the vocations. You see the vocations to the priesthood. You see the vocations to the sisters. You see the consecrated lay people, the people who are really devoted. And each of us has the freedom to live out our own vocations, but we're family together living that out. And then each vocation really strengthens and reinforces the other. I think the role of the sisters, especially, they bring that feminine aspect to the religious life for us, and many times they keep us in our place. The guys, when we begin to think we're the be all, the end all, and then the women have a way of doing that, and so it's a very beautiful thing. It really is, because it's really human too. I mean, the human dimension of it, and that's what really appeals to me. We're genuinely friends, and there's real friendship within the society, and a premium is placed on that. We're always reminded that it's a relationship about friendships with each other, and that really appeals to me. So, and you can see that here, just among the 3 of us, I think.
Yeah.
I can feel it, and I want to ask, because both of you are fathers, parents.
Yeah.
Tell us about your relationship with your kids as a result of your ministry.
Do you want to go first?
Sure. My son just got married, just graduated from St. Edward's University in Austin. He's very supportive of me. He loves what I'm doing, and that's means so much to me. And not only that, but I thought that my business colleagues, when I left, would sort of giggle, and laugh. They began to come forward to me and express to me how much they thought what I was doing was important. They sort of envied me, which just shocked me, because I never expected that, And they began to relate their own personal stories and how the Lord is working in their lives. And some have done some things, since that. One is trying to start a shelter for the homeless, and so if there's anyone out there that's thinking about being a lay missionary, I'd just like to say to you, don't be discouraged if you get any kind of initial difficulties or obstacles. Hang in there, because you just need a little bit of growing, and maybe the timing's not right, but it's a wonderful life. It's a wonderful life, and it's so fulfilling. It brings you a sense of peace and contentment that you just can't get anywhere else. So if you have that gentle calling in your life, look into it. Look into it and give it a chance. Check it out. And if not the Society of Our Lady, lay people are in demand now. I mean, the skills, unbelievably. Business, not just business skills, but teachers, healthcare workers. It's just amazing. Anything you can do out in the world, you can do in a religious order. And we're sort of a microcosm of the church community, is what we're doing, out working in the missions as the different vocations working together. So the church is calling lay people right now, and this is the time to move forward. Don't get too old, like I almost did. Do it now before it's too late.
Yeah. So. And it looks like you have some great opportunities here. Papua New Guinea, the Philippines, Belize, Guatemala, England, Thailand, Macau, Honduras, Haiti, Italy, Puerto Rico, Ghana, Mexico, and here in the USA. That's quite a spread in such a very short period of time. What's the reality of the life? You grew up in an urban setting, obviously. You're Houston, Galveston. Now all of a sudden you're out in rural northern New Mexico.
Well, let me tell you, besides being the most beautiful place I've ever lived in my life, and that's hard for me to say because I'm from Texas, but it's just, it's gorgeous. It's almost a dream. I mean, this time of year when the seasons are changing, Father, he's off the stage here, but I keep trying to look at him. But Father and Sister and I go out, on Sunday afternoon out after adoration, we go out hiking. And we go walking in the mountains and stuff, and it's just so beautiful. And the people have just been wonderful. I mean, the people in the Mora Valley, they're so focused on family. Their faith, the religion is so important to them, and the tradition, the history. And it's just a wonderful experience, and I encourage anyone that's thinking about any kind of missionary work to give it a chance.
So I'm hearing from all of you that it is fulfilling to you personally.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
There's no question about
I
it.
feel like home.
Yeah.
In Mora, home.
That's amazing. So far away from your native home, but just to be at home
the families are, I think we have a similarity in our culture. It's family oriented, so people are nice.
Yeah. And down there with you, Father, who are you with? Of course, you just had Deacon Richard, who just left, but...
and he's with the MSA order. My contact with the community mainly is with the members who are in the novitiate, because that is within the physical boundaries. And I go over a couple times a week and celebrate Mass over there and do spiritual direction. We have some sister postulants there now. This year, usually it's, in the past, it's been the men's novitiate. And I myself lived there for a year and survived the year novitiate. And so that's my main contact, except we have an opportunity to get together like this.
Oh, that's great. Because reading over this Disciples of Jesus and Mary that Father Flanagan did, that Nikki Sullivan was kind enough to, from Kansas City, provide for me, it seems that it calls for real prayer life for you.
Oh, absolutely.
It says here as much as 2 hours a day is recommended for each of you. And when do you find time to do it? When do you typically do it?
Well, for myself as a pastor, I have 6 churches. I'm extremely busy, a lot of
Right.
administrative work, and that's always the tug. And I find for myself personally, get up early in the morning. I mean, early in the morning when it's peaceful and quiet, and begin your day with prayer before the phone starts ringing, before you get distracted.
Right.
One of the beautiful things of the spiritual exercises, wherever there's a community of members of the society, every morning they start the morning off, come together as a group with morning prayer, and then we do the spiritual exercises together, and that really helps forms us in the spirituality of the Society of Our Lady. It forms us in that Marian spiritual Marian discipleship.
Because I'm hearing things. I've interviewed a lot of religious and former religious, and some of the old ones have, kind of drifted apart because they didn't maintain that family that family mindset. And it seems like all of you, even though you don't really even know each other, I can feel this sense of family right here.
Friendship.
Yeah,
Grace friendship is what it is. And we do pray a lot. We pray 4 hours a day sometimes. We start out in the morning with adoration. Father got us up at 5 o'clock this morning. We had a, and he is like a clock. I mean, you don't miss Liturgy of the Hours. He's, we say Liturgy of the Morning Prayer during adoration. Then we have Mass, and then at noon, at lunch, we say daytime prayer, and then of course evening prayer and night prayer without fail. And that's that spiritual discipline and focus that I was looking for. And that's why I'm here, because I know Father's going to keep me focused where I need to be. And
that feeds you, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I just couldn't.
I get that.
When I was out there, like I said, I missed the society. I missed the friendships, the personalities, the individuals, and the support. I missed the support. I need it. I'm just a broken person like everybody else, and if you're out there long enough, you're going to get tempted into some bad activities. So you need structure in your life, and at least I do. I'm speaking for myself.
And I think that's one of the beautiful things that I've seen in the society, is that the common denominator among all of us is this real love for prayer, that prayer comes first. We are a contemplative, active order. So the contemplative dimension is always present, and you see that. There's a real hunger for that in all the members of the society, and to foster that. And then out of that comes the works, and then you see all the different works and all the different missions. I mean, people are really busy, very, very busy. And beginning with Father Flanagan, the founder, it's incredible the amount of work he can get done in one day. I don't know if he ever goes to sleep, but then you come into the chapel and you see him, and he's in prayer at 2 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock. It's just an incredible, and it's a wonderful example for us too, for all of us, not just the priests, but for the laity and the sisters. And that is the kind of the common denominator that all of us love prayer.
Well, that's great. I mean, and I hope you folks at home are paying attention to that, because it certainly works in their lives here, and they're witnesses to that, and I hope you'll try some of that at home. Please extend our greetings to Father Flanagan and Father McHugh when you see them, and we'd love to have them, if they ever come through, we'd love to have them come on and share, or any others members of the society. So we've run out of time. It's been a wonderful 2-part series for me to get to really know the society. I first met the society seeing Father Carapi in my home diocese of Sacramento, California, doing a series of talks, and it was fabulous. And then watching him on EWTN does a marvelous job with the catechism. And so we want to share that with you. You can watch some of that on EWTN, or watch the credits, see the website, go to their website, go to the society's website. If you have to, I looked it up today on SOLT, and I got there from Google. You can get there anywhere and find out about them, or take Ken's advice and get to the lay Catholic involvement group and find something for yourself to do. Get involved, because I can feel it from you guys. Just having a family to work with will help you in your life. You'll be a part of something. Don't let the people around you distract you completely from your spiritual life. That's the most important thing. I think probably I'll agree with that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's about personal contact. It's the people in the society that make it so wonderful. So I really encourage people, pick up the phone, call Father Mike, call Ken, Father Sister, or myself, and we'll talk to you, sit down and talk, and welcome you in as a member of the family.
Take their invitation. We run out of time.
Anytime.
Thanks for watching. We want to thank you for viewing. Stay tuned and watch their credits. We want to thank all our supporters and sponsors. If you like this kind of programming, please let us know. We want to hear from you. So this is Bill O'Donnell. For everyone here at Spirituality TV, thank you for viewing, and stay tuned next week at this time for another program on spirituality.